You told me, you made a lot of news on this show back in January when you told me, quote, a lot of U.S. companies that have a lot of sales in China, like Apple, are going to be watching their earnings downgraded next year unless we get a trade deal with China. That was January. China's now taking an even tougher stance. They're saying they will not back down. They're even threatening to blacklist some foreign companies from their market. Is this going to mean, Kevin, more pain for U.S. companies that rely on selling in China?
Well, again, at the G20 that's coming up, hopefully there'll be positive discussions. We got very, very close to a deal, and then things fell apart right at the last minute. But it means if you got close before, you can hopefully get close again. And so, yeah, I think that global markets have responded to the fact that the deal fell through, and that there would be a big upside for the forecast if a deal could be realized.
So more risk for U.S. companies until we get a deal.
Yeah, and it relates to what we were talking about we need to see the jobs number, but there is more risk right now.
All right, well, on this China trade war issue, Mulvaney, the acting chief of staff, said over the weekend on Fox, we think the same things will happen here, and American consumers will not pay the burden of these tariffs. I just don't understand that, because we looked at the trade numbers this morning. You've got $540 billion of goods coming from China into the United States last year. How is it possible that Americans won't pay for the cost of this?
Well, again, so what happens is that in an economic seminar, we go good by good. And there are a heck of a lot of goods where basically the producers bear the cost of the tariffs because they're close substitutes for U.S. Consumers. And then there are others where not. And so what we do is we watch the aggregate numbers to see if aggregate inflation looks like it's taken off because of the tariffs. And all of those numbers have actually surprised on the downside. And so Mick Mulvaney is right when he says that the things that we've developed, the dashboard to look and see if consumers are seeing higher prices because of the tariffs, are not setting off alarms right now.
All right, two more quick ones for you, Kevin. On the issue, I mean, I have to ask you as you're departing here about the national debt and deficits. You don't like to see it rising, and yet the national debt is almost $22 trillion. It has increased by $2 trillion under President Trump, who said, when he was running, that he could eliminate it over 8 years. Are you not concerned about that anymore? Yeah,
I'm very much concerned about it. It's something I wrote a lot about as an academic before I came into the White House, and I'll probably write about it again. That fiscal consolidation is the technical term, is when you get your house in order. Fiscal consolidation is a big plus for the outlook, and so if the president wants to go from 3% to 4% in his second term, then fiscal consolidation should be on the table. Absolutely, that'd be my advice.